Jungle Book. How best to describe it? The Jungle Book was rumored for quite a long time. I read the original Mowgli stories in college, and as such, I was a little apprehensive on Disney remaking the film into live action. Particularly because of the same reason many fans disliked Man of Steel. Creative liberties were taken. The trailers were a bit misleading involving one of the characters, the Indian rock python, Kaa. Through the trailers, it felt like Kaa was more important to the story than one might think. And in the book, this serpent was a teacher for Mowgli, much like Baloo and Bagheera. When I finally got around to seeing the film, it amazed me that the entire film was filmed on a blue screen in LA. Nonetheless, while critical appeal was a deciding factor in the sequel's development, the movie hadn't even been out a day and it broke box office records already. With this in mind, I went in with high hopes, and boy were they met. From the various references to the source material to the sense of gravitas that was so prevalent in the original stories, I found myself immersed in this take more so than that of the anime, more so than that of the Disney and Russian cartoons, and way more so than anything that came before. This version of the Jungle Book outshines the previous iterations done by Disney and in a way enhances them as well. The original Sherman Brothers music and the good use of suspenseful cinematic techniques had me captivated more than the hypnotic gaze of an ancient python. Be that as it may, this has its faults, and there are a fair share of them. For one, Disney and Warner Brothers both had Jungle Book films planned. Warner Brothers' film is slated to be released next year, and the confusion will only get worse before it gets better, what with the eventual Disney sequel. To further complicate matters, the source material is in the public domain, so this means there can be as many films about it as there are people willing to make them. So Warner Brothers' film will probably be more closely tied to the source material, if anything. As a standalone film, this version of the Jungle Book is about as loved by me as Avatar was loved by its own fans. Do I recommend the Jungle Book? Absolutely. It has its faults. Misleading marketing is one of them. Kaa, while being integral at her point in the story, is only in one scene, and we kind of don't really know what happened to her because, well... And yes, Kaa's my favorite character, I won't deny it. She isn't the only large reptile I'm fond of, but that's a whole nother animal. Sequel or no sequel, this adaptation of Rudyard Kipling's classic is quite the visual and character-driven treat for the senses. If there are young ones in attendance, however, just know Shere Khan scenes are kind of intense.
Well, I guess it's done then. Unless I can draw him back out!
Akela!
I'm Blair Chase, and this has been my overview of the Jungle Book.
Bagheera, I'm not taking one more step.